Good afternoon. It's April 21st, 2023, and today we just had a range day. Uh, Not a whole lot of opportunities, unfortunately, because prices didn't really make it to the highs and lows a whole lot. You can see here, though, if you're playing this channel, perhaps there's something on here. You know what? Yeah, I'd probably take that higher low there. If you're playing that channel, why don't I go ahead and mark that higher low, very bullish signal bar. Perhaps you take that. It just doesn't look very great. You got a double test right there. But anyway, I'm talking. Let's take a look at these trades. So in the overnight, you get this move down. This was much clearer on the MES that this was like a break and a move to a new low. So I mean, here it's not as clear, but I think let's see. Let's start from the beginning. So maybe you get that overshoot and you get two legs of correction. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So you get this channel down, overshoot, two legs up, and even that. So in that you get a move up, break, two legs up to a new high, and then you get two legs down to a new low. Perfect price action. And then you get this failure. And this is what I was talking about. On the MES, this was a really nice higher low. After a clear break and move to new low. So I marked it here. I think if you're confident in your read, that's a pretty good, that signal bar is great. And, you know, if it's looking like a range to you and feeling like a range, then you got a lot of upside to that. And you can see a lot of people like that. We come up here, break, move to a new high, and you get a sell-off. So after the break and move to a new high, maybe you take this lower high, but there's just not enough room to back to the EMA. 54.50. Yeah, so there's only like a few ticks, so I'm not crazy about that one. And then we just start going sideways. And we get, you know, one leg down, sideways stuff, second leg down, but that starts a trend, or at least to me it kind of looks like a trend. We don't really ever get confirmation of that. So really this could just be one leg down, break, two legs down to a new low. Because, yeah, we really just don't even get confirmation of this trend channel. And so here, this looks like a hidden second entry. That's also looks like a failure. So you might take that if you're feeling really aggressive, because I mean it's looking like a range, and we should be heading to the lows if it is a range. So that's exactly what happens. And I definitely think this is worth considering down here. We have a break, two legs down to a new low, and then you get a higher low right here with room back to the EMA. It's looking like a range day. Yeah, you could be wrong here, and it could be a really strong sell-off, but this isn't a channel. You would have to draw it like that, and it just doesn't look like a channel. You have a break here already, and so if we didn't get two or three touches, then it's probably not a channel. So we do get a reversal pattern right here. It's double bottom, first entry, failed second entry, but all the dojis, I don't think you can take that, unfortunately, because that a lot of people must have liked that, and it reverses, and yeah, we come up to these highs. So I had an interruption, but I think we're talking about this stuff up here. So starts to go sideways. You get a break of this, and a couple moves up to a new high, and this is near the overnight highs. So when we get this first entry, this looks like a failure. I wouldn't be too ready to take it because it didn't make a new high. But then when you get this matching high, super bearish bar, it didn't break higher, but that looks like a failure to me. And you can see a lot of people like that. And I think it's for good reason. You know, we're at near the top of a range. And, 52, there's, 12 points of downside. So it's worth taking. You see all these people like that. You get a break, move to a new low, and it reverses. Unfortunately, this reversal sets up below the EMA. Maybe you take this second entry long. That is clearly off this trend channel. And it's at the lows and all the upside there. And you can see a lot of people like that. So here, let me make this. So you see that channel. So we never really got to move to a new high. I'm going to delete this channel. But once we get to this higher low, that's why I marked that. But we move into this range, and it's very choppy. So you want to be very careful there. If you got, so you see this double test down here. If you got another signal bar like that, maybe you would consider that. But there's so much resistance in here. I didn't like it. You do get a second entry short right here, but you're going into the EMA. I mean, I like this one. Super bearish bar. But you're in a range, so it's risky. Now the better idea would be to wait for this breakout and take a lower high, but we don't get the lower high. And then you get this breakout, maybe you take that, all that room back to the EMA, and you get a move up, break, couple moves up to a new high, and it sells off, and you don't get a lower high here. I mean, you could definitely consider this one, but technically this is a second entry short, third consecutive lower high. Maybe you consider that one, but that's an inside bar. So now we find support at the midline, and we form this channel up. But it's so many dojis, man. You got to be really careful. And here's this like higher low. And at this point, there's like a new range happening. That's probably just a measured move of the midline of this range. So, you're at the lows right here. So maybe you consider that, but all those dojis, you got to be very careful. Come up here, and this is a pretty nice move up. You get a break, couple legs up to a new high. You get this double test off the EMA. Maybe you consider it, because we're probably going to try and test these highs. But that's, I mean, it's near the highs, so that's a lot of dojis in there. But we do break out above the overnight highs, make a new high, and then sell off. And I marked this. Okay, yeah. So you got a first entry, failed second entry, and there's just a lot of overlap. So just not a great setup, but it is at the highs, so it's worth considering. And we're clearly in this channel. You get a break, not a convincing break though, and you get this double test, first, second entry short. I like that. Plenty of other people like that, and that brings us down to the midline. And then we just do a bunch of sideways stuff that doesn't really look that great. So that's how I saw it today. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday.